Morgan Iverson, writer and creator of Lumberjacks at Fourth Wall Productions. And, here repping us and trying to, put people on to what it is we're trying to do from Durham and end up becoming the next Marvel Studios Black Panther billionaire type business. You know what I'm talking about? So that's who I am. That's what we're doing.
All right, I'm Derrick, and I'm with Z League. I'm the creator of Z League, and / everything. It's pretty much me, and I'm just here to using this platform as an introduction to kind of describe what Z League is.
Sounds good. So we're gonna start with Fourth Wall. Let us know what Fourth Wall is.
Fourth Wall, we're a media production company, or we are aspiring to be, and we want to be a media production company. But we're starting off with trying to build our own comic universe, similar to Marvel and DC, but with black-led characters. The 4 pillar characters that we have up front are all black. The stories all interconnect to one another. So whatever you read in Ace Blade will at some point, Ace Blade is our pillar character, will at some point cross into my character Lumberjacks. My other partner Marquise, his character Black Scorpion, and King Supreme is another character from Danny. We got a whole bunch more characters. We got like 10 years worth of stories, but comics cost money. So they cost about, you're looking at like 25 3Gs per comic, so
now is that for like a season worth of comics? So you're talking about one comic?
One comic, bro. One comic. What would help is if we had for anybody that's an artist, if we had an artist on board, if we had an artist on the team that was dope and was down with the vision, it could cut our costs like crazy, because the thing that we don't have is an artist on board that is with the company that's not being paid. We're the writers and the creators of the characters, but we don't have an artist on board, so we have to pay for that artwork. So, and in general, when you're doing a comic per page, it's going to cost you $60 to $100 a page.
A page,
yeah. So, it's $60 to $100 per page usually, and then you still got to pay for colors. So, you're probably looking at like $125 per page when you get to the end of it. And most comics are 22 to 27 pages, so it can add up quick. You know what I'm saying? So, we in the beginning stages, but we starting to get some stuff rolling. This year, the first year, we have all 4 of those pillar characters have at least one comic out.
Okay.
We got origin novels. We hitting a lot of conventions this year because black folks are starting to show up in the comic world.
And those are out and accessible now. Correct?
Yeah.
I remember seeing a few joints myself.
Yeah. We got like I said, Ace Blade is like he's like our flagship character because my boy Danny, he's a vet, he's a soldier. He was in Iraq when he started writing for him. He did an origin story for him when he was in Iraq, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. He brought me in to come up with Lumberjacks, Marquise in to come up with Black Scorpion. But since Ace Blade was started 10 years ago, he's got the most content. So we got his 3rd comic just dropped. Lumberjacks #1 will be coming out next month in April. Black Scorpion will be coming out in April. King Supreme is getting ready to have an Indiegogo campaign in March 17th. That's kicking off, and that's going to be in collaboration with an artist named Wally McNair, like a big bro to us, man. He's a dope artist in Charlotte, and him and Danny are combining to create King Supreme and the story for that, and it's going to be dope. So
be looking for that.
Oh yeah. So you all of our stuff is on fourthwall.com. It's www.fourthwallpros.com. Everything we got is up there, and it'll direct you to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We do podcasts. It's just been a minute since we've done one because it's hard to get in the same spot. But we just trying to go one step at a time. You can't master all trades at once. You know what I'm saying? Just take it step at a time. So right now we're working on the comic universe. We'll continue to do the podcast. Eventually we want to get into movies, plays,
this is a perfect time for it.
Yeah.
So, that one thing that I know for sure, like being a collector myself, back in the day, I'm not avid right now, but I can definitely say that's something that we did in the black community, like collecting comic books and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the artwork and cast crafting and going into hip hop and stuff like that. So definitely now's a good time for it because you kind of see a resurgence. You know what I mean? So
that's, I mean, with what Black Panther's doing, you know, like that's, we were already inspired, but I mean that makes you want to step your game up that much more, you know, because it's showing you that the world, not just the Black community is hungry, but the world is hungry for more diverse characters. You know what I'm saying? So Fourth Wall is a company that has, you know, 4 pillar characters that are Black, and then we have other characters that are from different nationalities. That's one of the things we pride ourselves on, you know. So being able to get in now and have the momentum from what, I mean, Black folks in the entertainment industry are smashing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I'm proud of it, and I'm proud to be a part of it as a creator. So, you know, that's one of the things that I'm hype about for Fourth Wall and us going forward is we can ride some of these, you know, these undercurrents of the greatness that's already gone before us right now, and be able to get ourselves on that stage and bring some other people up with us.
But it's interesting, like, you know, when you talk about like the comic book realm, and it's really like a fantasy realm, but people being able to gravitate to it and feeling like they can identify which Black Panther managed to do.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean. And y'all doing that. That's what's up.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that I mean, for my comic in specific, you know, with it being my first one, you know, with your baby as an artist, I mean, you know, you're an artist yourself, so I mean, you know how that goes when you put your heart into something, and you know, as a creator, a piece of you is in everything that you create. You know what I'm saying? So, for me personally, with the first comic, you know, I feel like I know that it'll hit close to home for Black people, especially African Americans, because of the content it's dealing with, and I feel like it's a responsibility of any creator to inspire somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to gravitate and cause people to come into your story and feel it, you know what I'm saying? I don't write just for the happenstance, you know what I'm saying? I'm writing to make you feel something. I'm writing to make you think, you know, I'm writing to try to change thoughts, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I'm aiming to do in the comic. So I'm excited about, especially my community, being able to get their hands on it. And I'm not saying that just as somebody trying to make money. I'm saying it as a creator, as an artist, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited about the message of the comic, and hopefully people get it and love it, and we can keep it rolling. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's up. You know. So we got Derrick Z League. I love that concept you have. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can honestly say, you know, outside of the interviewing aspect, I think it's dope because I've been hearing about it for like a while and seeing you put it in development. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it includes family and people coming out from a different scale, you know, even say, yo, you have dreams and desires outside sports-wise, involvement, the community. Tell us about Z League.
All right. Z League is pretty much a platform. So with sports, and if you look at if you just go to Google, somewhere to play, like adult league or something like that, you'll naturally get a list of platforms to show you where you can play. And Z League is kind of in that nature, but it's also has a life of its own, kind of like you know, your NCAA, NBA, because of the brands that it brings. I was thinking the other day, like how the most important attribute of Z League, I think the team form concept is a TFA, I call it, which is a team form attribute. So if you look at how leagues and organizations are built, like the NBA has cities, so that it's built on the team form attribute of, well, actually that's different. It's built on draft. I'm thinking more like high school. High school is built on team where you live. Mm. So you pretty much go by district. And colleges, you're drafted. But it's based on an entity that was created, like so university. So Carolina, you know, a long time ago, people just went to school. But then someone smart said, okay, we need to put athletics in this business model, whatever.
Right.
And you know, I think in the beginning it was made for people to have something to do and, you know, extracurriculars, but someone, you know, over time we've seen how profitable it could be. So it kind of built a life of its own. Okay. And that's kind of what Z League is with the signs. If you think about it, it's been years, decades. It's an ancient concept, but, I know from when I was little, I've always heard about Zodiac song. Didn't really know much about it, but I've heard it in conversation or on a song or whatever.
Shape ourselves, mold ourselves behind tendencies and stuff like that.
Right. So I use it more of a TFA than more than anything else, because it's a attribute you can capture by the dates. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, okay, well, if I got these group of people, it's kind of simplified how you can put them on a team, and then there's already kind of a movement behind it. So if you look on social media today, you probably can't go a day without seeing somebody post something about this day's season and stuff like that.
And that's real. I was thinking that when you were saying that. That's one thing that you see. It's like, Pisces season on effect, son, fall back.
Yeah, real talk.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's dope.
So
man.
It's almost a life of its own already. So if you look at it and you look at how Carolina, Duke, and all that's formed, it's like it's kind of a similar lane. It'd be you just putting. Obviously, it's not as big, but if you look at the association part of it.
So that's how you create and build teams to say in competition amongst each other globally from that perspective to say, hey, we're Libras, we're Pisces, we're Aquarius, and we build rack up points and set up amongst each other from a league perspective and add up points and to be seen and help, within that activities and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Right. Like in the summer kids, which was your purpose and what you're reaching out to with high school students, correct?
Well, kind of. The high school aspect was kind of like when I came out. We came out of high school as an end part of our sports, career. Right. And that's kind of like where it stemmed from is after high school, you don't really have that outlet anymore. When you're a kid, all through, elementary school, high school, middle school, there's an outlet. There's a program or something, AAU.
A lot of times that took, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but a lot of time that's what's community-based with people that's in the hood who we grow up with, our peers. All day. We get off of school and whatever, we finish our homework, maybe not even do homework, but we ball till the sun's down.
Right, 100%.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because that's how it was back then.
Word.
Nowadays, it's more organizational-based. So people are playing, but they're in some, whether it's AAU, whether it's community rec ball, whether it's another startup program, or whether it's a training. They're all kind of outlets that people are, kind of selling to the kids. Hey, you can get better, and it's year round, so to speak. But so there are avenues out the wazoo for kids, to participate in. But once that 17, 18-year-old, once you're out of high school, those outlets they're not as available.
Right.
So, like you said, association, it's kind of like, you playing. It's for fun, but it's also that association, that camaraderie. Like how when we follow our favorite teams, I like to get out there and hoop, but there's no platform for me to go play for. So I watch on TV. I follow my team. But now it's kind of like a bridge to say, okay, you're still an athlete. Like at 18, they say you don't really reach your prime until maybe like in your mid-20s or late 20s. Right. So you think about that aspect, and there's a lot of good people, athletes that are still in that realm that just really don't have anywhere to showcase their talent. And Z-League kind of brings that to the forefront for them. And, I think it's just a good platform to build and have fun.
Now, do you still do it from the competitive aspect, involving other sports outside of basketball?
Right, and so it started from basketball because that's my favorite sport. But then after thinking about it, it just made sense that you could incorporate the aspect into other sports. And it really started out from a platform of pickup ball. So when you sign up, it's like the aspect of signing up and playing for that particular tournament or game as opposed to for a whole season. So when we have the games for like a month, the month of January, the month of March, it's a sign-up sheet where people will go online and sign up to represent their team and play for them.
And that would also be related to their horoscope, which adds up points and builds.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's kind of like you make it a one-time a month thing, or it could be more often, but you build it for the one-time a month game, where it's more hype about it, and
That's dope, yo. That's dope.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I heard about it, the dope thing to me is like you were saying earlier about people being on Facebook, or Twitter or wherever, and you're right, you're gonna see a meme every day or every other day with somebody being dope, like, oh, it's about to be Sagittarius season, Gemini's on board, whatever, you know what I'm saying? To me, the dope thing is, instead of us bumping our gums about what the best sign is, you know what I'm saying, we can go and handle it, you know what I'm saying? So you can be like, yo, it's Aquarius season, and somebody start talking trash like, well, y'all can't rock with Geminis. Oh, word?
But we're smacking you in bowling.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, word? Let me pull up the stat sheet.
I don't do those things, but I play golf.
Exactly.
So let me go rack these points up on the Zodiac.
Exactly.
And that's just dope, because it's involving the family as well, going out to say, hey, let's go roll up our Z Nation points.
Yeah. That's a dope one.
That's a good point, too, because in the beginning phase of trying to really get it started, bowling came about because it was easier to organize,
right?
As opposed to having to need 5 players or whatever. You can really kind of set up like maybe an Olympic format where you can play as an individual,
right?
So going to a bowling alley and saying, okay, I don't really have to have a lane. People can come out there. If you're going with your date or if you're going with your family, you can bowl and still put up your points for your sign and that nature. Yeah, so.
Adding on to the whole we're iller than that and create something that's big where it gets to the point to where it's like, bowling's out doing basketball right now. You know what I'm saying? Like the family is out and I'm like, nah. That's tough, man. I like that because it gives people involvement in things, something that's exterior from our regular living type business.
And I'm also I'm exploring an opportunity to really capture that aspect of the community, and so with the visualizing it being like a brand thing as far as the teens and people really accepting or going to that notion of Libra or Scorpio, and that's my team and all, having the apparel side and really, capturing that. And you go outside and you'll see somebody wearing a Scorpio shirt just like they're wearing UNC. Not just, getting the profit off of it, but utilizing that aspect to really put the dollars back in their community. So say if I live in Raleigh and I'm purchasing a shirt for Scorpio, having an arrangement to where that money is going back into the Raleigh community for a cause.
That's a dope idea.
That's what's up, yo. So it really takes about the involvement of people pretty much going on the sound. Like I said, it's amazing for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it says, Z Nation night or Z League night. Right. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep saying Z Nation. You know what I mean? I watch the zombie business.
That just means it's going to be something bigger than
Z League Nation. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Speaking big things.
Yeah, so, just having involvement to have things, because sometimes I feel like we're detached to where it's like, I used to get off and ball.
Right.
After working a hard, stupid day. But that's all me and my peoples had was getting off. We had our 5. Let's go to this park, run this full court until we tired. Twin case. And you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, for real, man. That's dope. And I think have the same involvement when it comes down to what we do outside of our time. To say, look, there's something that has involvement where we're participants of that can go back and revolve around into the community type business. I think that's a great idea, man.
Okay.
And not even idea what's in place. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I really like enjoy that. What's the history of lumberjacks?
Oh man. So.
And I don't want to do like a spoiler thing.
No. I need to work.
Synopsis. Give us a synopsis.
I need to work on my spoiler-free lumberjacks introduction because I'm working on finishing his origin novel as we speak too. So the plan was to have the origin novel and the comic drop at the same time, because Black Scorpion and Ace Blade have origin novels for their joints. So like if you get the first comic and you like, yo, I love this comic, how did he become who he is? Then we have those origin novels available. So for Jats he's an Ethiopian. He's originally from Ethiopia, refugee to America. should be a king. I mean, he's a prince, but some stuff went down that led to him ended up in America, which like he was. He's a part of the royal family, but there was some slackness going on that's going to unravel as you read the comics. There was a coup in Ethiopia. Country was overthrown, so to save the bloodline, his pop sent him away. He has family. His mom is Cuban, so that gets explained too. His mom is Cuban. He's supposed to be going over to Cuba to stay with his grandma. She passes away, and he ends up like a refugee in New Orleans. So he gets there. He's 14 when he gets to New Orleans. He's in a bad spot. He gets picked up by a coach, by a football coach. He pretty much was a slave. Like what I'm saying, there was some rich not plantation owners, but folks with some bread. What I'm saying, that just had him working at the crib. He won't go to school. He just did what they told him to. What I'm saying? Because he ain't had nothing else. And a football coach came by, saw him out there. Because of his size, Jackson's huge. He's 6'8". I mean, currently in the comics, he's 6'8", like 335. What I'm saying? He was a defensive end. So the coach picks him up, puts him out there, gives him an outlet for his anger. And Jackson dominates. He's a defensive end in football, but then like some real slackness takes place with his fam. And I mean, the origin novel is pretty much dealing with him losing his fam and trying to get them back. And that is ultimately what ends up pushing him to become who he is. What I'm saying? He learned to be a hero on a football team. What I'm saying? To stand up for his football team and lead his football team. But now he's kind of learning in real life how to be a hero for his city and ultimately for the world, because his grandpa, he's got a prophecy on him. What I'm saying?
Okay.
He's got a destiny, but he's fighting it. What I'm saying? He's fighting his destiny because he ain't, he got some belief issues, and you'll see him struggle through that throughout the comics in his destiny, in his prophecy. I mean, I think for me personally, that's a personal thing. What I'm saying? You can be naturally called to something. You can be naturally called to lead, but you don't want to do it. What I'm saying? You don't want to do it. You don't want to fall into that realm, and it could be for various reasons. So you see Jax go through that as a character as he evolves, but he's gonna face some things that are gonna make him come to grips with either it's a put up shut up type situation. So
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it leads from there, like that's the birthplace of
yeah.
Jack.
I mean, the first comic is leading from the end of the origin novel. I'm trying to say it without giving stuff away in the origin novel, right. But the first comic is going to pick up with him wrestling. He's more so a vigilante. I mean, Jax is not. This ain't Batman. What I'm saying? Like he's not rolling like Batman, bro. If you are going to kill him, sorry. What I'm saying? Like he's not. He carries a six foot.
And it seems like for even people around him, like there's just things that's not going on around.
Nah,
him.
That's not who he is. Like he's not the type to. What he believes in more than anything else is justice. Period. Right. Across the board. What I'm saying? So if you on some slackness and especially taking advantage of somebody else, what I'm saying? You put yourself in this situation. So a lot of times you'll see him move and say, look, I mean, you can move, you can do that, but
right.
I mean, if I kill you, that's on you. What I'm saying? Like Jax is not the type like Batman is going to tie you up and wait for the police. Nah, right. If you get ready to hurt somebody else or you coming after me, you got to go then, what I'm saying? So that's just the way he thinks across the board. But like a part of him leaving that vigilante and learning how to become a hero is important because he's got to, in order for him to become who he needs to be able to stand up for the nation and for the world, in the end, he's got to, he fights some inner demons, what I'm saying? And all of us have them.
Exactly.
What I'm
saying?
Yeah, so.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So that sounds like something definitely people should definitely follow and wrap their minds around,
Yeah, I mean, it's a spiritual story, but it's also a very physical story. Like in the first comic, he's going to be dealing with something that especially African Americans know.
That you could wake up to.
He's dealing with police brutality is one of the things that's being dealt with up front and personal. He ain't the type to pull punches. He's a fourth wall breaker. For people that don't know what that is, it just means somebody that, ain't like somebody like Deadpool that, I'm in a comic, I'm in a movie or whatever, but I'm aware that I'm in it, so I'll talk directly to you. He's a fourth wall breaker, so, that's something you can look forward to in laughs.
Yeah, it's definitely laughs.
Yeah. So you can look forward to it in laughs in the comics because he'll break the fourth wall at any point. But the thing that I'm most proud of with this comic is there were a lot of personal things that took place that led to some of the content in this comic.
You say as far as like what affected you personally from what you see in your living experience?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Especially as an African American in this country, police brutality for us, we know is it's near and dear to my heart. You know what I'm saying? And one of the cases that affected me most was Philando Castile. And you will see that represented in the comic, a situation that's similar to it.
License, not doing anything wrong.
That affected me a lot because I got friends, I got fam that have a concealed carry. You know what I'm saying? And for us as black people, it's a freaking shame for you to have the law to be able to carry a gun, but you could die for it. Right. You know what I'm saying? You could die for legally doing something, and that's something that's dealt with in the comic. I'm not saying the whole comic is encompassed around it. The whole comic is encompassed around, the name of the comic is By Any Means, and I named it like that for a reason. It's supposed to invoke the Malcolm...
That language.
It's supposed to invoke that Malcolm thought process, but the comic is about justice and how do you view justice and then how do you go about implementing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that you'll see Jax deal with and other people within the comic without giving away the twist of the comic. I think when people read it, the thing that I want to have is to leave you with what does By Any Means mean to you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thought provoking.
That's exactly that's really, you know what I'm saying. I want you to enjoy it. There's definitely laughs in there, you know what I'm saying. But it's also going to cause thought, and I hope forward motion, changes in thought. You know what I'm saying. I'm trying to bring you inside how you feel as a person in those type of situations. And there's more than one. He also deals with the ignorance in our community. You know what I'm saying? Us effing each other up. Right. You know what I'm saying? For nonsense, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that it don't have to be like that. We turn it on each other instead of fighting against what's fighting against us. So,
okay. That's dope. So, yeah. I when you led to that, you shot over to Derrick. Derrick, what makes you different from an AAU?
Well, the main reason, or the main reason that I say would be different from AAU is because AAU is primarily youth.
Right.
Z-League target is the 18 and up. So I say a main target.
Which we're speaking from a basketball reference, for sure.
For AAU specifically, exactly. Yeah. But sports in general, AAU is a bigger conglomerate, obviously. Right. But, other sports have youth organizations that they try to get the best players in a nation, so to speak. And they try to, they get them out there, they get them the scouting, they get them looked at so they can get scholarships to the top schools or whatever. And in other sports, obviously, they have professional where you don't even have to go to college. You can just go, in golf or tennis and sports like that. You can just go straight to pro or whatever. Right. So Z-League is, I would say, primarily for that target market that, to me, there's not much there for them. So I think it's a lot of athletes. You think about it, they play high school. Sports is big in general. Youth sports is a $1 billion industry.
Right.
So, those kids go somewhere. What do they do after high school?
You're right. Even if they in college, they're not making bread off of the $1 billion industry that's out there was promoted yearly. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. And it's a small percentage. To piggyback off of what you said, it's a small percentage of people that play in college that that go pro anyway. Right. So that's a whole.
If you look at the funnel or I forget the name.
Pipeline.
The pipeline. It's kind of like a funnel system, so to speak. it starts out grand, right?
Right.
At youth sports, Pop Warner, rec,
Right.
it encompasses a lot of kids. And then when you get to middle school, it comes down. High school, down even more. College, it really shrinks, and in the NBA, it's not even visible.
Yeah.
So that system is, base the weed off. You try to get the best players in the world for each sport, but it's a large volume of people.
Right.
So even though you don't play high school, you still like to play it with them.
Like it's funny. This is why I think I like gravitate to it too so much, because it's like, when I was growing up, if you wasn't at the basketball court on Sundays, you're like balling on some pickup business. Like it was kind of like that was just like your day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
All
like
day.
and it could come like on the spur of a moment, like everybody's going to go ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And for it to end up being something where it's like, I'm not just balling the ball to be on my fitness business, but you know what I'm saying? I'm balling and it's gonna apply to something.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? What's going on around that basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and the pride aspect of it.
Yeah.
That's what would get me is the pride aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I said before, everybody talking the trash about which sounds the best. Oh, all right. Well,
let's see.
meet me at the court. Meet me at the
let's
lanes.
see.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
y'all would have flag football. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Right.
let me put on this Aquarius shirt and show you what it is. That's the
Right.
part that would get me into it.
Yeah.
Because the competitive spirit don't go anywhere. I see what you're going for with those people that you played, but there's no outlet for you to play in for what you're wearing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when you play in high school, you repping your school. You know what I'm saying? So like I went to Northern Durham High School. Our rivals were Riverside. It's like F Riverside forever. You know what I'm saying?
But this is the thing. The people who want to say, if that's the thing, to be like, that's where it comes to the you part, to saying, hey, look, there's this league. I'm rocking my month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My horoscope. But at the same time, I want to build what was around me outside of that, and then get at these Riverside cats or whatever they were to
That's
say,
right.
can you mess with this squad?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, definitely, man, we
and it's not the all end all be all. I mean,
it's not. No. I get what you're saying, because I could gravitate to so many things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get that from people asking about it, and one of the main, I guess, questions I get is, well, what about playing with my friends and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, it's just like if you go to college, or if you were to get drafted by somebody in the league or something, you play for the dynamic of that organization, right?
Right.
You still can go play pickup ball down the street with your cast of your people or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just a different outlet.
Right.
Offers a little bit more. So
you're putting in to represent on what you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's dope.
Right.
Sure. I mean, to me, you could also do special type joints beyond that. I mean, because say, your boys ain't Aquariuses, but maybe they Capricorns and Geminis. You'd be like, well, look, y'all three signs can't beat these three signs. You know what I'm saying?
But like you said, they already like, yo, it's my season.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I mean, y'all, it could be a sign conglomeration to be like,
it's
y'all
not
can't do
normal
that.
language now because it doesn't really exist yet. But it's
Right.
like, a year from now, it could be as common as, that's my squad. I'm going to play with my squad. It ain't really about having, you three of you Capricorns against you Virgos. It's about, we're going to the tournament.
Yeah. That's my
top,
squad,
you know what I
period.
mean? It's my squad, right?
Yeah.
That's what's up. So, with that being said, contact information, what we do, you know what I'm saying? What we have?
Like I said, Fourth Wall Productions. We at www.fourthwallpros.com. You can find all our social media stuff, everything. You can go on there and sign up for our newsletter. You'll see it in a light box to come up, and it's also at the bottom of the homepage. You can just put your email in there, let you know everything we got coming up. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We'll definitely be in these streets this year. We got 3 cons. The cons stands for conventions. We got 3 conventions coming up. 2 this month and 1 in April. We'll be at North Carolina Comic Con at the end of the year in November. If you're into comics, hit us up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Look, honestly, we're creating the universe. So, if you hit us with a dope enough idea,
and you don't even have to be in the comics.
Exactly. You don't have to be. Well, one of the perks for when I did my Kickstarter to get Lumberjacks funded, which that was another exciting thing for me this year. You know, I went on Kickstarter to put it forward because I told you it costs a lot of money. I got funded in 4 days. You know what I'm saying? So I had 30 days to get funded. I got funded in 4. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that lets you know there's a market out there. There's people that want to see these things, and that's a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? Especially as an African American creator. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that made Black Panther so epic. You know what I'm saying? So
With
I mean,
a lot of people not knowing about the Black Panther.
If you don't know about Black Panther at this point, something's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't dap me up like this, I can't trust you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know to cross it up, I can't trust you right now. You know what I'm saying? So, and the same impact that's had on me, we hope Fourth Wall could do. So I mean, like I said, you know, www.fourthwallpros.com. You know, hit us up. You can find us, find our email. My email is iversonmorgan3@gmail.com. You can hit me up there. You can hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Facebook would be easier. My name is Morgan Iverson, so find me up there.
And we, Danny.
Yeah, Danny
Quick.
Yeah, Danny. You can hit up Danny too, Danny Quick.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you put your email in up there, it will get you everything you need. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we doing, everywhere we moving.
That's what's up.
And you can hit us up with ideas.
I'm
serious about that. You know what I'm saying? So
Derrick, how we get in contact with you?
I'm on Facebook, Z League, Twitter @ZLeague.
Okay.
There's a beta website, www.zleague.org.
Okay.
There's a contact tab on there, and if you submit that, I'll get that as well.
Word. That's what's up, man.
I look for some podcasts coming out. We've been doing some unique shows around the brand. A Who You With campaign is coming. Look for that as well.
That's what's up. So we'll definitely do that. We'll stay and peep up and following everything. Ace Blade. Make sure Z League is on there. Some love. Shout hip hop beats and things.
all day.
Peace.